Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Canary's dead.
What's that?
What?
They said the canary's dead.
The canary's dead.
Oh.
Copy that. Copy that,
Yes,
Red
they-
Crow. Abandoned mission. I repeat, abandoned mission.
Was
We
that
got
our
a gas
nickname
leak
for
now.
Sally 3?
Aww.
Yes, the canary's head exploded. Aw. You had to rinse out the inside of her helmet with a hose.
It's game over, man. Game over.
Oh yeah, did we take her suit back, or did we just leave it there?
Who wants some tomato soup?
Oh.
I just thought it was like an intense aneurysm, but if it's like that, geez. That's more cleaning I'll have to do. Gosh.
I just thought it was all inside the helmet. Like,
Turn the volume up on you guys. We're a little bit quiet today, I think. All right, that seems a little bit better. All right. So last time, you guys brought in the Enel hive womb of the various birthing clones, headless attached wombs, the various clones that had living body parts that were dissected and detached but still living. And it took you guys some time, but you managed to figure out a way to detach them from the sheathed derelict ship and bring them onto your vessel. And I believe that's the last place we left off, so there's probably some questions as far as what you guys want to do with them, what's going on, are you going to investigate things, and so forth and so on. I did want to ask, is there anything that you guys want to see explored in the campaign before it ends? Like we've done flashbacks, we've done like dream sequences and things, like that kind of stuff. Is there something that you guys want to have incorporated into the campaign that maybe we can do today or some future day?
Well, I think about a lot of TV shows that I've watched. They always had a musical episode.
that is something you don't want.
3 hours of tone deaf Tim singing.
Well,
Lord.
if we have all the clones, then it's like each character is a barbershop quartet.
The Enels without heads just tap their feet.
Oh.
They just tap along or clap with their disembodied hands.
There's a tap line in the back, tap dancing.
Oh man. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything like in the past. We did this quite often where I'd throw this out like, hey, what do you guys want to do today? Like, oh, let's have a flashback episode. So I don't know if there's anything like pressing on anybody. Like, hey, I wanted to do this. I don't know if we're musically inclined enough to.
Yeah, we're saying.
Acapella,
Yeah, you might lose some subscribers over that, too.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, but you totally gain some too. Maybe.
Definitely.
Oh, there we go.
Singing about their wars characters. I mean, come on.
I'll just rip off Phantom of the Opera. I'll just make it Phantom of the Okina Toraburu.
Oh man, that would be so hard. You guys would have to sing all of your lines. Like you could like say your descriptions like in a normal voice, and then if you say something, you'd have to sing it.
Oh long fear, oh long fear, why did you shoot the hole in the ship?
We are venting oxygen right now.
My girlfriend has no head, but there's more copies of her that I'll sleep with.
I don't need to put a bag over her head since she has none.
Oh.
Oh, so bad. Wow, that would be a first for me. I've never had a musical episode. Wow.
I thought you were talking about that. I'm like, really, Tim? Really?
I thought you were talking about the headless.
Like that.
I've never had a headless woman before.
Not that anyone has proven anyway.
Yes.
Hey guys, the authorities are knocking on my door. Hold on a second. I gotta go answer that.
They just happen to be listening to this podcast.
This is the war session after dark.
Oh, the musical episode. I don't know if you guys want to try that. Well, I think I might need some more alcohol if I was going to try to do that. Too bad I don't have any beer. But
Maybe the last episode we can do that.
Yeah. It'd be like an epilogue. Or
Sing off.
you can mix that with the new realms. Like you could be like stuck in there, and for some reason you can only your only dialogue is in singing. That could be kind of fun.
No.
Tim invents a new form of torture, forcing his players to sing on air.
yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Any other things you want to try to mess with? I don't know.
I have to think about that.
I would totally be fine with maybe having a shorter session with singing. I think 3 hours might be a little stretch. But like I said, I could totally see like
booze and water.
I could see a short segment of a session or something being that. That'd be kind of fun. But I don't know. We could just play normal. If you guys think of anything, just shout it out or put it down below. So you guys are on the ship. You have your various clones that are still all unconscious. You, like I said, just figured out a way to transport them over to your ship. And other than that, I don't know. Do you want to start out with everyone together, or do you guys want to do something else?
Well, I think we were at the point where we had set up in the cargo bay a place for all the NLs, which I think that would probably take all hands on deck to get all that working and operating. All
right, so why don't we just start there then? You guys are looking at all the various parts and bodies that are living, the various NL clones. 4 of them are headless, like I said. There's the original that all the other NL bodies were attached to. There were the 4 fetuses that are Theo's children that are there. And just another update, you left Chomper's child on his ship, but he's still in the area.
And all the other clones are there as well?
You brought all the other clones over. Some of them might be the original, but like I said, you haven't checked other than an L. The L that all the other ones are plugged into seems to be the original.
Are they conscious?
No. And remember, some of them have very distended stomachs, as if they're filled with liquid or gas. Their skin has like those stretch marks that pregnant women or guys like me that eat too much in a season get. But they're like split and they're just like 4 times the size, like a normal stomach. It's like distended and bloated. We'll say that one of the Estebans has a stomach like that. One of the Bryces, one of the Theos.
Pregnant Esteban.
One of the Colts, and one more. Longbeer.
Damn it!
So just in case you guys want to, I don't know, jot this down or think about it, I'll just go over. Let's see here. There are 1, 2, 3 Theos. There is 1, 2 Estebans.
Are we counting the ones who are currently conscious and unconscious, or just the clones?
Just the clones. So
the clones that are unconscious.
Yes, these are all the bodies, the combined body parts, etc., that you brought back over from the derelict. I'll start over. So 3 Theos. There are 2 Estebans. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 Braces. 2 Longbeers. 2 Pawns. And 1, 2, 3 colts, and 1 Sally. And then there are the 4 fetuses. They're Theo's children. There is the original Enel. And then there are, let's see here, there are 4 pregnant Enel clones. One of them is dead, but she seems like she has living things inside of her. And 4 of them are the headless, armless, basically just used for the womb portions of Enel, but they're also living.
So he didn't find the heads or anything?
No.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, basically all the extremities have been removed.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were all in pieces and we were just bringing them all back.
Well, a lot of these other clones are, but you managed to sort them out.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, damn it, I put Longbeard's arm by Esteban, so yeah, you figured that out and moved them around. It was kind of like a puzzle piece.
You just put magnets on them and they stick to each other.
Well, they're still in pieces. You would have to, you think probably have surgery to put them back, but they are living, and the body parts have like a flush, normal color to them. They're not like withered and white, and rigor mortis hasn't set in. But yeah, they're warm to the touch, which is probably even freakier. But that
Do
is the
any of
current
the
situation.
Estebans have cybernetics?
Yeah, I guess the originals would, right? All right. So yeah, one of the Estebans has the original cybernetics.
Oh, okay. So
Actually, yeah.
That kind of helps.
One of the other Theos does. Let's see here. I guess one of the Colt he was a clone already, so none of them do. One of the Bryces does.
Okay, so they reassembled him.
Yeah, we'll say that. Let's say he has various scars on him. So that is the current situation. Begin scene.
The current Esteban is actually not in the cargo bay. He's actually found one of the closest windows where he can look out, and he's still just looking at the rift with his hand just pressed against the glass, just staring at the rift.
Yes, the blue diffused wound in space and time just seems to change, and seems to be variable in some ways. The light sort of pulses, and it's beautiful.
He's just staring at it like he's mesmerized. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I just had one quick question. Which cargo hold are we going to hold them all in? Is it because we got the upper deck, middle, and lower deck to choose from? Well, the lower deck is kind of out of the question because that's where the NL ship is. But the upper and middle.
I guess just pick one then.
Upper deck.
Whichever one's closest to the med bay, probably.
Well,
Okay, that would
be
be
middle deck.
Yeah, mid deck. All right.
I think the middle one too, the one that we said was completely shielded.
I believe so.
Yeah, so.
Okay, just clarifying.
You hear the silent, just barely audible breathing of some of the clones. Some of the breaths are raspy.
So Longbeard enters the area carrying several bioscanners, and hands one out to Colt, and then just pockets the other one on his tool belt and begins scanning, starting with the Nell's body parts. The one that's dead, he scans for whatever living thing is inside the belly.
Okay, and let's see here. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We'll have fun with this one. So you're looking at your bioscanner, and what does Longbeard see?
Oh, shit. Longbeard sees the screen is showing that there's 4 different life forms, all of which seem to be swimming around in some sort of amniotic fluid. As he gets in there and starts using the detailed basically a sonogram of the objects, you can see that there are long, maybe 6-inch long worm-like creatures that are swimming around. They do have arms, but they look like maybe some sort of, I don't know, alien creature, maybe part she or part human. But they're swimming around in the fluid. Yeah, and then Ben, I don't know, he kind of backs away a little bit, and
you'll see the surface of her belly sort of distends as one of these creatures swims along the outside of it. You'll see the bend sort of, almost like a little bump from the left side of her belly all the way over to her right side.
Longbeard shockingly, like, kind of just wide-eyed, looks over at Theo real quickly, and then, catches himself, and he's like, Theo,
You'll find Theo, he's just kind of standing around. He looks rather perplexed, it's a mixture of perplexed and distressed as he has his hand wrapped around the back of his head, kind of rubbing it and looking around. He looks pretty unsure as to what to do next. And then after a while, he'll glance over at you. Yeah. What's wrong?
Well, Theo, did you check? Can you use this bioscanner to check on Nell to make sure she's okay? It's gonna take me a while to go through all these.
Do you mean the original, right?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
When Theo walks away, he turns to Colt. Can you help me with this?
Sure. He sort of looks at you and then looks over at Theo. Yeah, not a problem. And he sort of like grabs the bioscanner out of your hands.
Yeah.
He just like briefly looks down at it, and he has a poker face, and he looks right back at you. He just sort of just barely nods.
All right. And then with that, I guess I'll motion to Cole to look at the other Enel bodies, and then they'll key on the intercoms and say, Esteban, this is Longbeard.
Yes, Captain. How may I help you?
Esteban, we could really use your help in the storage area.
Which one are you in?
We're in the middle, Bay 2.
Very well, we will be there shortly. Esteban out. And he turns off the communicator, and it's like he's painfully pulling himself away from the glass of the window. And he keeps looking out the window till the last possible minute till he's out the door, then he closes it. Then he shakes himself and starts going towards the cargo bay.
After the abrupt ending of the communications, Longbeard turns and keys. He turns and says, Aisha?
Yes, Captain. How may I be of assistance? Are you sad from the death of your homeworld?
Longbeard's face just kind of like almost drops, like he just totally is stunned by that comment. No.
I can prescribe some medicines to help you forget.
No, I'm fine.
They're in the third drawer down on the right in the section of the med bay.
Thank you. Can you turn the scanners from passive to active, please? And search for any ships that are in the area out to maximum range, and just keep us informed if anything pops into our radar range.
Yes, Captain. Are you expecting visitors?
I am eventually, yes.
Should you want to record an automated message to send in case your friends arrive?
No, these may not be friends, so we want to stay on yellow alert and maintain radio silence for now. Just inform the crew when, if something shows up on the scanners.
Understood, Captain. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Aisha.
The doors open and Esteban comes in. Yes, Captain. What can Esteban do for you?
Longbeard kind of waits as Esteban walks over and waits till he gets really close. And then kind of quietly he says, hands him the other bioscanner that he had brought down. And says, Esteban, can you scan this clone body and tell me what you think of this?
Of course. And he takes the scanner and he starts holding it over the womb, he just does a full scan of the entire clone.
And you'll also see a similar image of the 4 snake-like long bodies that are undulating and weaving and moving all the way around the dead corpse. The womb is somehow yet alive.
I think it would be a wise idea to get this into some sort of quarantine.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Do you think that those embryo fetuses will survive in the dead body? As he points out, that's actually the dead, whatever, incubator, I guess, human incubator. Or if we should probably remove them.
Yes, you'll also see the tubes that are coming from the main anel, the original.
I would think that these are being supported in some way from this other clone, this other person. Perhaps this is the original, yes?
I do believe that that's the original anel. What do you think? What are your thoughts on whether it will actually harm her? I just don't want to disengage anything with that, Basically, we want to remove Anel from this system if possible.
It is hard to say. They seem to be doing quite well, and that is disconcerting. I do not know what they are, and I would have to do a full medical scan, but I certainly do recommend that we get at least this one that has these in its womb into some sort of quarantine quickly. I don't think disconnecting this one per se would harm her. They seem to be more leeching off of her. But it is hard to say without a full medical scan.
The headless corpses, the headless corpse and the other headless anels start to slowly levitate off of the places where they've been placed. They're sort of hovering like maybe an inch or two above the ground and slowly ascending.
Yes, this is not good.
Longbear, grab them, push them down. I don't know. And Longbear jumps on the nearest one, pushing it down. Or not jumps on it, but reaches out and pushes it down to the floor.
With enough resistance, they lower back down, but it seems that if you let go, they will continue to rise.
When I pushed down on it, did it feel like the focal point of the lifting came from the center point of the torso, where the embryo creatures are, or was it just the entire thing was lifted?
If you had to guess, it felt like it was coming from the stomach area, the womb.
Okay.
Quickly, I run between all of them, and I start scanning their womb areas to see if they also have these serpentine, lit snake-like organisms in all of them.
As you scan around, 2 of them do. They seem to have similar numbers. There's 4 of them in 2 of the bodies. These are the headless ones.
2 additional ones?
Yeah, so 2 additional extremity-less anels, the ones without arms or legs, have 4 of those snake-like human she hybrid-looking fetuses. The other 2, what do you find inside?
It looks like a very well-developed child in each of them, a human child. but it's hard to get an accurate read as to whether or not they are actually completely human or not. But just from a surface scan, they appear human.
You'll see that Colt has moved over to some of the other pregnant Anels, the last 3 that haven't been scanned. He looks up at Theo, and he motions over.
Oh, he's motioning over to Theo for that?
Yeah, he's sort of holding out the bioscanner, and he's like motioning over.
Okay. He'll walk on over to him. What is it, Colt?
Well, I'm sure you'll eventually see what else is dwelling within these. Well, the other ones. I thought you should see this, and he just hands over the bioscanner to you. And what do you see?
As he looks through the bioscanner, he sees he sees what looks like it has the features of a baby, but its lower half is the lower half of it looks much more different. It's more serpentine in nature, almost like the segments of a caterpillar in a way, but they get smaller. So it kind of resembles a fetus on its first inception, but just much larger. And yet parts of it are more developed than others. I don't know what to say.
I think they've done a lot of the experiments here on your children. I can't think of what else to call them.
Yeah, they have. I'm not sure what to do.
Those 2 over there, though, they seem healthy. He just hits the over button. This one has twins, and that one has a single child.
Well, that's good.
They seem healthy.
I let out a long sigh and, well, this is kind of out of my expertise. I don't know what threat they might pose to the ship. I don't even know what they are right now. Are we sure they're not, well, I guess it's too early to say, but perhaps they're related to the foreign tissues that were found on the back of our skulls. Maybe it's some strange hybridization of it.
There's so much here. We would have to do testing, which I'm sure you know. Any sort of testing like that would pose a risk to the embryo, to the fetus. I'll make sure to get your approval for anything that poses any risk.
Thank you.
Do you have anything? He just sort of like he's not really looking at you much. He's sort of, his eyes are down, or he's like, he's talking in your direction but not really in your face. He seems uncomfortable. Do you have any? What? He just sort of looks around at the women and the parts. Do you have any suggestions, Theo, on what we should do here? This seems to be outside of my experience. I don't know what would be ethical here.
I don't either. Well, it's obvious that they were experimented upon. Maybe we should... Maybe if there's a way to reverse what was done somehow, I don't know. Well, for now they're not doing any harm, so I don't see anything wrong with just leaving them here like this for now. I'll have to think about this. And he kind of just hands the bioscanner back slowly, and he just kind of walks back over to the original now, and just kind of sits down in a chair next to her bed, and just kind of rests his head with his elbows on the table and hands clasped on his forehead.
Theo will feel movement from her stomach, and there's just a little tiny bump against his left hand.
Oh, from the original?
Yes.
Oh, is her stomach much larger than last time?
A little bit larger.
Oh my. Kind of lights up and just continues to hold his hand there. His eyes are wide open.
You just feel this. It's almost like someone has a finger inside of her stomach and just slowly just tapping you where your hand is.
A smile kind of arches over his face as he looks. And then he kind of just rests his head on her shoulders and just remains quiet for a bit.
Esteban is standing there with a scanner in one hand towards the womb of one of the ones that have snakes in it, but he's also just staring at his right hand.
You'll see the 4 fetuses in the they've been removed. You know, those are the ones that are in their own sort of containers away from the bodies, and they're moving around quite a bit. They seem perfectly normal, human fetuses from the outside, though you may not be sure if the genetics have been messed with in any way, shape, or form.
After a moment, I just shake my head and say, Captain, 2 of these seem to also be inhabited by these worm-like snake creatures. I highly suggest that these be put into quarantine.
Okay, if you think so. What about the other fetuses, I guess?
I do not know what to think of them, but these are very highly active. And if they are this active while in the womb, I cannot say what they will be like if they exit the womb. It will be very difficult to track them down if they're able to move quickly.
Everyone in the general area starts to get these light flashes that resemble the light of the Shi mental thought symbols that were appearing in your heads, but they're not formed. It's just a chaotic light that sort of in your mind's eye appears and then disappears every few seconds.
Theo gets up immediately and he'll start to he'll pull out his gun. He'll start looking around. Did you all see that?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking up into the air and I'm shaping my hands like the light patterns that I'm seeing with my right hand.
I think we missed one of them. Do you think it could be on the ship? He just starts darting his head around.
No, Bryce would have told us if that happened. And then he, Longbeard begins looking around for Bryce.
You notice that Bryce is not actually there. He had, in the incredibly cramped shuttle ride, been hyperventilating and almost passed out. By the time he reached the ship, as soon as he figured that you guys were okay securing these creatures in the cargo hold, creatures, clones. He basically ran off to pace around the hydroponics area because it's one of the largest rooms in the ship, and has just been trying to shake the feeling of everything closing in. But he's also been monitoring the situation in the cargo bay from one of the terminals in the hydroponics. And once he calmed to a certain degree, is beginning to kind of chart out a plan for separation based on his idea of codependency between the sort of hive mother central original Enel and the rest. But he does catch the panic of everyone else and starts tabulating thought forms with his sense thoughts and just trying to figure out exactly how many entities that are sapient are over there in the cargo bay.
Yes, you'll see the various... there's definitely a concentration. That's where all the crew is right now. There doesn't seem to be any other life other than in that area. And yourself?
Does Bryce get the sense that the thought patterns were from the infant forms of these she?
Let's see here. I think you would probably... You might be able to figure that out. Well, why don't you just give me a roll? We'll just leave it up to a roll.
Okay.
How about intelligence and... what else would you use? You can just roll twice for intelligence. That's probably fine.
Okay, sorry, that was noisy. 3 successes?
Alex rolls them from 10 feet above the table.
Steel
that's
dice.
actually right next to the table, but yeah.
His dice are made out of jade. Now you'll definitely think that they're coming from some of the infant forms, probably some of the snake-like entities.
He chimes in through the intercom. Everyone just... I can't tell you to stay calm, but I think that whatever experiments they've been using our doubles' bodies for are just learning to think. Or talk. I'm not detecting any full-grown she in the area. I don't think there's a threat per se that's immediate, but I also don't know how these things develop.
What's the danger level? Are these things dangerous?
I can't say.
Are you sure there's no other she on the vessel?
I'm almost certain, yes. They could be cloaking their thought forms somehow, but as far as I can tell, there are no other she on the vessel. I'll check all the cameras.
Bryce, can you make it down here to the to Cargo Bay 2?
Captain, I'd rather not.
Bryce, we need you here. We can deal with these things.
He just sort of, you can see him trying to swallow something back, and he just sort of nods, flicks off the intercom, and starts slowly heading over.
You'll see Pawn is being carried on the shoulders of Genu, and the bot marches into the room. He has to duck down so that Pawn's head doesn't smack off the top of the door. You'll see that she has made this silly wig-like structure on the top of Genu's head out of old straw and strings, and she's braiding it.
Theo kind of looks over at her, and he'll slowly get up from his seat and walk over towards her. What do you need, Pawn?
Oh, I just wanted to come see what you were all doing. It's kind of quiet on the rest of the ship. You like Gina's wig? I've been working on it all morning.
He'll kind of have a little smile on his face. He'll look over at her and say, "That looks nice, Pawn. But
do you think Gina would look better as a redhead? Maybe I should dye them. Because he's kind of blonde and white now. I guess some blonde people have white hair. I don't think Gina's a blonde though. Look at that picture down there. She points down to the chest monitor that has like a typical Ganjin, generic Ganjin face with the dark hair, a little bit in one of his eyes.
He kind of smirks at her and says, I think he could use some piercings. But other than that, I think red is fine."
Oh, piercings. Can you do that? Gina, you wouldn't be adverse to getting some holes drilled in me, would you? What reasoning would you... He sort of looks up at her. No. Do not drill holes in me.
Pawn, we're kind of busy in here. He just kind of points at he just kind of gestures to everything that's kind of going on.
Oh. She sort of like jumps down off the back of Ginu. Kind of roughly, and she kind of like stumbles to the left, falls down a little bit, and she gets up and straightens out this sort of like white jumpsuit that she's sort of made for herself. Looks like she's made it out of thrown away clothes or something that was in some storeroom. It's sort of stitched together oddly. And she moves over to the clone of herself, and she just sort of tilts her head, and she looks over to another one of herself. And, oh, that's kind of odd.
What's odd?
I mean, isn't it odd for you to see you over there? And she points to the Theo clones. And, oh, there's one over there, too. There's three of you. Oh, what did they do to your arms? Oh.
He kind of rubs his head.
They're all cut to pieces.
Yeah, I see that, Pawn.
Why would someone do that?
He kind of just smacks his forehead a little bit, and he looks over at Longveer. Longveer, there's not much for me to do here. I'm going to go ahead and take Pawn and Ginu out of here, all right? Also, I'm going to be taking the shuttle and planning a trip back over to the She vessel.
Oh, can I come with you?
Theo, you should take Sally with you if possible, so you have someone else to back you up.
Will do. I'm going to be running some salvage operations. I'm going to try to take apart as many things as I can and bring them back to the ship. That's the least I can do right now.
All right, Theo. Do you think that's best?
You'll see that Pawn is sort of parting the hair, and she's braiding one of the Pawn's hairs right above her left ear.
It's very nice, Pawn, but I think we should wait till they're awake, all right?
Oh,
Theo?
I guess so.
Longbeard calls after Theo as he's there. Theo.
Yes.
On second thought, perhaps you should take Bryce with you. He might be more helpful in getting the doors and stuff open that you need.
Thank you. You're right.
All right, be safe. Take your weapons.
He'll just hold his hand blaster up as he walks away and puts it in his holster.
At this point, Bryce walks in the cargo room doors.
You'll see Pawn. She lifts up the left arm that apparently was in the right arm's position, and she's fixing them. So she's playing with her clone's arms and putting them back to the way they should be.
You also see Esteban standing there with his right hand extended, his eyes open wide, completely transfixed on his right hand.
Bryce just has eyes agape in the cargo bay because it's like the right side panel of Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights or something. Just these bodies everywhere, and just the thought patterns kind of in a barrage. He looks absolutely frozen in the room.
Theo will walk over and kiss Anel on the forehead, and then walk back over to Pon. Come on, Pon, let's go. And then as he looks up to see Bryce, he'll go, Bryce, there you are. Come on. We're going to go out and do some salvage operations.
One thing Theo noticed is when he kissed her, there was a sort of salty taste to her.
Oh, really? Salty, huh? How salty are we talking? Is like super salty or...
Like, yeah, like McDonald's fries salty. It's pretty salty.
Just kind of take his hand and just kind of wipe her skin a little bit and kind of rub it between his fingers. Kind of get the feeling of the salt there. See how much is there.
It seems like most of her body was covered in some sort of fluid, perhaps, that dried. Salt water, maybe?
Colt?
He looks over at you, but then he looks over at Esteban, who's looking at his hand, and he moves over to him instead. What's wrong?
The light. The light, I can see it through the walls. His eyes are just open wide, and he's just like slowly moving his fingers around.
What the fuck are you talking about?
We see it, don't you?
He looks like he just sees the wall, and he looks back. Do you need some... He looks over at Longbeer and just points at Esteban.
Longbeer has his hand over his mouth and like a shocked look on his eyes. He's like, Esteban, and he kind of looks up to the ceiling through his hand. I don't see any light, Esteban. And he kind of reaches up to his head. Are you feeling okay?
It's beautiful.
What's beautiful?
The light. It was an epiphany. The light from the rift. And then it came to me, just now, these flashes of patterns. Beautiful light.
The rift. I do agree the rift has an attraction to it. It is beautiful. But he kind of like reaches up and, Esteban, but we have things to do here. The rift will always...
When you snap your fingers, he just kind of shakes himself. Captain, yes, I do believe that we should get all three of these in quarantine as soon as possible.
Longbeard looks over at Colt and then looks back. Good. Good, Esteban. You feeling okay right now?
I'm feeling very well, thank you. How are you feeling? Then he takes his med scan over to Captain Longbeard and starts scanning him.
Probably heightened adrenaline and a little upset, but yeah, I should be okay. All right, that would be excellent if you could take care of those, put them into quarantine. I'll help you in a second.
Very well. I'll find some way of disconnecting them from the mother womb.
Thank you. And then Longbeard looks at Colt wide-eyed and then turns to Theo. Theo, what's up with Anel?
Oh, I was gonna say that it looked like she was covered in some substance before we brought her on board. It's really salty in nature.
We'll have to check it. It could be just a saline solution to keep her dry. I don't know what they're to keep her skin from, drying out. Wait, no, that makes no sense. And Esteban, the Longbeard shakes his head, rubs his eyes, and then walks over with the bioscanner and just kind of like slowly drags his hands across his face downward, and he just kind of sighs and then starts scanning. I'll check her out. Yeah, she'll be fine.
He'll nod his head slowly. All right, then. And then he'll just kind of back up slowly. He's still looking at you as he's backing up. He just kind of turns around and then finally goes up to Pon. All right, Pon, let's go. Bryce, come on.
Bryce went directly to the shuttle bay as soon as you mentioned that we were going to leave. So yeah, he's. Oh, it wasn't necessarily super fast. He just wanted to get out.
Before he goes, though, he'll have he'll look up to Ginu and be like, "Hey, Ginu, can you establish a feed here between monitoring here so that I can watch it from the shuttle?"
Yes, I believe I can do that. And he bends down. Can you take this off of my head, please?
He grabs it and gently takes the wig off. Like, all right, Ginu, there you go.
I don't mind entertaining the young one, but his head sort of moves over towards her and back to you. Can you keep her occupied, please?
Don't worry. I'll do so.
And please refrain from drilling holes into my vital systems.
Theo at this point will actually kind of nod slightly, but it's an unsure nod. And he looks at him and says, well, I mean, until I give you some upgrades.
Upgrades would be most good. And he sort of stands back up.
All right. He'll kind of like pat Gino on his shoulder. Even well, Gino's like really tall, so he kind of just lifts his arm up as he pats him on his shoulder and walks out.
Right after Theo walks out of the room, the rest of the Enel bodies start to levitate off the ground.
Captain, I think this is important. I think I am trying very desperately to find a way to disconnect them, but I am not a technician as far as technology goes. But I think we need to get them in some sort of containment.
All right, and Longbeard brushes you over. All right, I'll I can help you with any of the tech stuff or questions you have. And I guess Longbeard will begin to check it out or scan it with his other tools to find out what we can do to just disengage it.
Another thing that starts to happen that Longbeard probably notices before anyone else is that the original Enel, her hair, starts to stick up in places as if there's an electric charge flowing through her. Almost like when you touch one of those balls with electricity inside of it. I can't think what it's called.
Like a Van de Graaff generator?
Thank you. Yes, one of those.
Can I see where the power source is coming from?
It seems to be coming from her.
Longbeard holds his like a single finger up, kind of like to hold a second, and runs over to Enel, and very lightly begins to just drain off excess energy that she's emitting. Does it calm her down or slow her down at all?
You don't absorb as much energy as you did from the nanobots, but
right.
Probably about half of that energy.
Wow.
So she seems to be a pretty strong power source. And you're guessing that this is generated from some Kizan ability that has yet not shown itself.
Okay, I was going to ask you. So definitely it's coming from her then.
Yes, it seems to. And you can also watch the lines of power running down the various tubes into the other bodies.
When I scan her, she's actually unconscious though? I mean,
You see that her eyes are moving. She seems like she's in some deep REM sleep.
Colt, what would be the effects if we put her into a coma? A medicated coma?
Honestly, Captain, I'm a little unsure about what we could do here. Anything that we may attempt may endanger the lives of these other beings. I will do whatever you say, Captain, but I will insist on safety and talking to Phil before we make any decisions. These are his children, in a way.
You mean Theo?
You mean Theo?
Yeah, damn it. Yeah, Theo.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that tickled me.
I am going to go to Medbay. I will bring back some of those containment units.
Thank you.
I don't know what those bag things were called that they had that they put it. People were put in.
That works good. I don't.
Okay. And he rushes out the door.
Cole, I was just wondering if there would be a problem. If you think there is going to be something, that I definitely don't want to endanger any of these creatures, beings, whatever. Is there any way that you can think of that would help us to disengage them from the primary Enel and then still keep them alive?
We can try to replicate whatever biological processes are going on. This is a strange idea, Captain, but you may be able to attach them to one of the other crew members to take the place of her. You see these tubes here? There seems to be fluid being exchanged between them and the original Enel, and I don't know if you can... There seems to be some sort of electric charge as well. Touch one of these tubes. And he just grabs on the tubes and just sort of flops it in your hand.
I can see the charges. I know where they're going.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Maybe some power source as well would be needed. Like I said, Captain, anything we do would probably risk the patients.
What would be the effects if we put them in a cryogenic freeze?
Unknown, Captain. It would be an experiment, and life may or may not be extinguished by doing that. We just don't know. We just don't know what we're doing here, Captain. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. This is all theoretical. It's just guesswork, Captain.
At this point, do you think that there's anything that is... Are they harming Enel in any way?
Right now, it seems that Enel's and the clones of Enel's bodies are being used essentially just as a shell. So, yes, she's being used, but no more so than a normal pregnant woman is used by the growing life inside of her. I checked, and their life signs are stable, even though I don't understand how that is even possible, since they don't have brains. Something just occurred to me, Captain. If you detach the ones without brains, maybe the original is somehow being the brain for them. I don't know, Captain. He sort of looks down at his bioscanner, and he puts his hand in his head in his hands, and he's just, I just don't know. It's all guesswork. Why the fuck did they do this? And he throws his bioscanner against the wall.
Colt, calm down, Colt. That's not going to help in this situation. And Longbear reaches up, rubbing his temple. We need to stay calm, and we need to figure this out.
And what the hell is in those things over there? They're like fucking human balloons. Look at them. I mean, if you go over there and stab one, what the hell's going to come out of that thing?
I don't know. Priority at this moment is to take care of Anel. Anel and her and Theo's child.
I mean, it looks like a hot air balloon. Like what? Like a flesh hot air balloon. I mean, what the hell is going on? Why would they do that to somebody? They're gonna like pop their head in there and fucking breathe it? What the hell is that?
Longbear reaches out, grabbing his shoulders. Like, Colt, focus. This is not the time to lose control. Stay calm.
There's so many of them. Like if you had like 2 bodies, we could both. But there's like a fucking army of unconscious people in here. It's like I need help. I need nurses. I need doctors. I mean, like Esteban, he thinks this. I'm all alone here.
Colt, you're not alone. I'm here. Esteban's here. We can help. We're just trying to figure out what is the best course of action.
Well, maybe the Rift can help us. Hey, Rift. Hey, beautiful lights in the sky. How about you come down here and help us out with all these fucked up alien... Ah!
Oh, with that, Longo just holds him with his left hand and then just slaps him across the face with his right hand.
I'll sort of like slide, fall down, and slide over to the wall.
And then breathing heavy, he's like, "All right, wait."
While this is happening, Theo's got his data pad up linked with the monitor that Gino has been watching the entire time, and he'll look over at Pon. Pon, head up to the shuttle bay with Bryce. I'll be with you in a little bit. And he just turns around and bolts back.
Okay. Well, all right. And she starts skipping and singing this little song to herself that is some Ganj nursery rhyme.
Longbeard looks down at his hand and then looks over at Colt, and he kind of like thanks. Oh, yeah.
You'll see Colt pull a weapon. He pulls it up and points it at you.
He's like, "Colt,
don't ever touch me again. Is that understood?"
There's a sudden Colt's Longbeard's eyes begin to glow with the energy of the Kaizen powers, with the electricity.
You think you can shock me before I shoot you? Is that the trick, huh?
I wanted to kill you, Colt. I would have done it a long time ago.
He throws the gun in the corner.
At this point, the door opens up and Theo walks in. The fuck are you all doing?
Longbeard is just breathing heavy. He's just ready to just break, you can tell. The muscles in his neck are straining. Lightning is now coursing between his fingertips.
Okay, Theo will, he'll walk over and he'll grab a hypo, a sedative hypo, and he'll just walk right behind him and be like, you need to just chill. And just...
To Longbeard?
Yep.
Oh! When you go to poke him, lightning shoots off my body, shocking you.
God damn!
A smell of ozone and burnt flesh fills the room.
That does wake Longbeard up, though. I mean, he just kind of stops. He's like, "Theo, when did you get here, Theo?" And he kind of looks back at Colt.
He's holding his hand at this point, looking up, going, "Fuck, that hurts more than a damn plasma conduit. Shit. Oh, I forgot how much that hurts. Oh, God."
Longbeard looks back at him. I'm sorry, Theo. I didn't do it on purpose. That's just
maybe you should just take a breather for a little bit. I'll stay in here for now.
You know what? That's a good suggestion. I think I'm going to take that Hey, Esteban, light boy, why don't you take one of these fucking scanners? And he kicks one of the scanners over to Esteban.
Esteban ran out of the room. He went to the med bay to get those containment units.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Maybe he just realized that, though.
Yeah, he kicks the bioscanner where Esteban was and realizes how dumb the statement is. And he just shakes his head and walks out.
You see Longbear's face, and all any type of Kaizen activity just drops when he looks over at Theo. And he immediately comes up with the bioscanner and healing spray. I'm sorry, Theo, that I can't stand cold. I've tried to deal with them. Memories of when I was LV426, I don't.
He'll put his hand on your shoulder and be like, look, it's okay, but this isn't really the time or the place, and kind of just gesturing around to all the rather vulnerable bodies. And he'll be like, look, just, you all just go ahead and like, take 5 or something, and I'll stay here and work something out. I mean, there are mechanical devices here. There's something I can work with. I'll go ahead and get Med and Fred and Melma up, and I'll have them head over to the She vessel, and along with Genu, and do some long-range salvage operations on the whole of their ship. I'll coordinate it from here while I'm doing my own thing.
I don't know, Theo. I can't. I have to be doing something. I have to do something. I can't stop right now.
Well, you can analyze the data from here.
Yeah, and I'm concerned with those creatures that are in that body.
Well, don't worry. They're not coming out anytime soon. I mean, for right now, it looks like they're going to be inside of there. So I'll keep you updated on anything that's going on. And in fact, you and Bryce could head over to the ship if you want, and to the shuttle, and head down to the She vessel if you want, and kind of do some analysis of the ship. We need to learn everything we possibly can about the She's vessel. We need to know how it operates, how they move, what their power source is. We need to use every advantage they have and make it our advantage so they never catch us off guard again.
Yeah. Kind of rubs his eyes. Maybe you're right, Theo. We lost Sally, and then remember Cole. Remember, he just continued to shoot me in the face.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I don't really know what to say. It's not going to be easy from here on out, but you're gonna have to focus on the small things for now. Focus just on the little things and just work your way from there, like little stepping stones. It's just like working in one of the conduit corridors. You just work on each little subsection and move your way up. You don't focus on the fact that there's about a mile's worth of it. And then he kind of just darts his head off to the side and kind of rubs his forehead and kind of looks back up at you. Just do that.
Longbear looks at Theo and kind of smirks a little bit and says, "We're spending a lot of time with Kazuko, learning to calm, to find the center." You're right, Theo. I'll do this. I'll go with Bryce and bring him and try to figure out what's wrong with him as well. He seems off for him.
When you mention Kazuko, he kind of has a little bit of a smirk, saying, "Yeah, I guess he might have. I really fucking hate that." But yeah, he just pats you on your shoulder and walks back, starts grabbing his data pad.
All right, we'll switch scenes real quick to Bryce. What's he doing?
Bryce has activated all systems except for the engines on the shuttle and checked them over about 8 times. He's sitting in the pilot's seat with a carefully kitted out back section of the shuttle with all the appropriate EV suits or scanning equipment he thinks might be needed. And he's just sort of rapping and scraping his fingers absent-mindedly on the edges of the control panel while looking at sensor data of the ship and just any direction he can turn his mind to that is away from here.
So it sounds like he's pretty engrossed in what he's doing, right?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, so you're doing these things, checking things, and then you feel hands on your shoulders.
I think just his startle reaction will be his head flying backwards, perhaps impacting on whatever's behind him. And then he'll just sort of try springing out of the chair, and depending on how low the control panel is, that could hit him in his knees. I don't know. He's just going to be...
So he's kind of like one of those cats when you come up behind them and just tap them. They don't see you there. So
yeah, more or less.
Pawn holds her nose, and there's blood in her hands, and she backs up behind you, and oh
God, I'm he's over at Pawn as rapidly as possible, just kind of like cupping under her nose to get all the. As though that's the proper thing to do when a nosebleed occurs. And then he thinks again and just sort of tilts her head forward and pinches the bridge of her nose and just kneels down and looks up at her.
Oh, it hurts.
I'm sorry, Pawn. You surprised me.
I'm sorry.
How bad is it? Should I?
I don't know. Ow.
He's completely torn by the fact that they're supposed to be leaving any time now, and wanting to take her to medbay and make sure everything's okay. But they probably have an emergency kind of field first aid kit in the shuttle, so he's running over to that.
I'm sorry.
No,
I just wanted, I don't know, touch you.
It's nothing to be sorry about, Pawn. I should be sorry. I'm, oh God, everything's moving at once.
She sort of just sits down on one of the side seats, and she's keeping her head down, and some of the blood's in her hair, her dark hair.
Bryce is at this point pulling out like a soft cloth, and it's slightly damp, and he also has these. They're like little metal, somewhere between a clothespin and a tiny rib, out from this thing. That he starts just inching towards Pawn with. Pawn, I can keep your nose stable can you just move your hand away for just a second? He's moving this damp cloth underneath her nose.
Won't that make me bleed more?
No, it should be okay. Just I need you to relax, please.
Okay.
He moves this tiny thing of metal onto the bridge of her nose, and it just after the cloth has rubbed over, things are kind of lightly numbed, but this tiny rib of metal is he presses a little switch on it, and it clamps down, and there's a mild electric field generated by it. And ideally, her nose is not hurting anymore, at the very least. That I'm hoping that'll stop the bleeding soon.
Well, I was gonna ask you, well, why did you tell me about the girl in the computer?
What about the girl in the computer?
I talked to her.
She pulls up a flesh board that's she recently had attached, apparently.
I thought you knew about that. You implemented her. Don't you remember?
I don't remember doing that. But she wanted me to tell you that she misses you.
He just sort of all of the nerves in him switch from tense to that sort of unsettling looseness one gets when your stomach drops. And he just, how's she doing?
She has this really pretty place that there's lots of flowers and there's a white vestibule with like water. We were on a sailboat. I was on the front and she was holding the ropes, and it was nice. I've never been anywhere like that.
That sounds great. Maybe the three of us can visit there sometime. Have a picnic, or
I think a good time, just a little bit of time in there from every once in a while would be good. It's so much nicer in there than out here.
And it seems so open, doesn't it?
It's safe in there, I think. But she asked me what it's like to touch things, and I had a hard time explaining what that was like. I'm sorry. I should know to give you privacy.
No. I'm just on edge, Paul. I'm sorry. It's been a hard few days for everyone.
She reaches out her left hand and just sort of like taps it on the back of your right hand.
Bryce just straight up gives her a hug. And just basically says, Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm usually clumsy anyway. I'm sorry. I'll make sure to whistle next time.
Thanks. Well, that you might want to practice, but yeah. At this point, Bryce's nerves are translating to laughter, and he just he moves
I got a little spit on you there. Sorry.
He wipes off his face a little, moves over to the other bench, sort of running along the other side of the shuttle, and just sits and waits for the others with Fawn.
Okay, and then let's go to Tim and Esteban.
Hey, so Esteban runs into the med bay, and he starts collecting together some of those containment units, but yet all of a sudden these faces start circling his head, and he just starts swatting at them wildly. So he's like stumbling around the room, and he falls back into a cart, and it knocks over, and he's just like frantically swatting at these heads and faces of people that he knows. And a voice in his head goes, "Ha ha ha ha! You can't stop them. You can't stop anything. You thought you could control it." So he's just like frantically waving his hands around. Then he runs over to one of the scanner, and he starts scanning himself. And he finds a chemical in his system that normally would not be traceable by a normal bioscan, except that it's infused with power from the rift. So it's showing up like barium going through your system. So it's running through his entire system. In the med bay. So, but he finally fights through it, and he gathers some of these containment units, and he puts them on a cart, and he just starts running back to the med bay. His eyes just like in a panic. He's just like running at full kilt back towards the cargo bay. And finally, he gets back to the cargo bay, and he just runs. Whoever's left in the cargo bay, they just see him running in with all these containment units that need to be assembled, but he's brought them all in.
I believe Longbeer is there, and is
Longbeer and Phil is there.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay.
But Esteban, wow, you've got all the stuff.
Yes, we need to contain them.
Longbeer's eyes kind of widen. He goes over to help him carry the stuff. Grabbing a couple boxes from him and bringing them over to where they can assemble it on the table.
You notice he just looks irritated over to his right, and he starts waving his hand at something. Then he just grabs one of them and starts taking it off the cart and starts unpacking it and starting to assemble it.
In your mind's eyes, you get this sort of strobe-like pulsar, brighter but still blue light that sort of flashes rhythmically, like it's going to give you some sort of like put you into like a state of anxiety or I don't know. It's very like a seizure or something. It's just bright, flashing.
But you see him. He just jumps up in the air with his hands out to the side. And he goes, "Ah! Ah!" And he just stumbles over the cart and falls backward on his back.
The bodies of the Enels, they're all, the highest point of their bodies is their stomachs, and their the stumps of their arms, or their arms that they have, are sort of draped, sort of the weight of their flesh is holding them down.
So I'm assuming he stumbles over one of these carts that they're floating above, so they're just floating free above nothing. And he's just laying on his back looking at this floating body. He's like, ah! He starts waving his hands.
Theo runs up. The fuck is going on, Esteban? He runs right over and just kneels down. Esteban, what's wrong?
He looks at you, but it's like he's looking through you. He says, "The light, the light."
He looks up at Longbeer, and there's a look of it's like a mixture of annoyance and panic, and he kind of just looks around frantically and just grabs one of the hypos that has a sedative in it, and just like there. Calm down.
It seems like he calms down a bit, but he's still conscious. He's still awake. Then he's like he's looking at something that's moving past. So he's turning at the waist, just looking at something. He's like he's reaching out with his hands, trying to touch something, like it's circling around him.
Esteban, what are you doing? What's going on?
The light. And he's like, The rift, the light from the rift. Then it's like his eyes are just wide again. He's just like swatting at something.
What about the light?
It's in my eyes.
Then
It's in my eyes. And he's like takes his right hand and points it right at his eyes, like a centimeter away from his eye, his finger.
he'll reach down and grab the sides of your head, and he'll look you straight in the eye and say, "Then close them. Just quit freaking out."
The lights are brighter when I close my eyes.
Come on, calm down with this. Just breathe deep. 1, 2, 3, exhale. 3, 4, 5, inhale. Come on.
We have to get them into the containment units.
All right. We'll do that. You just keep breathing and keep counting.
The bodies are now stretched to their farthest limit. The tubes that are attaching to the original Enel are taut. It almost kind of looks like some sort of morbid balloon display. They're just levitating, and they've stopped, and they sort of coming together right above the original Enel. They're sort of bumped into each other, arms laying over legs, bellies touching one another. This just sort of floating, levitating mass of clones.
Oh, fucking hell, man. All right. Let's see here. Let's try to get them gently down.
I stand up quickly, and I go over and start just assembling one of the containment units as if nothing happened.
Theo gets a slight shock whenever he touches the tubes. His hair starts to raise up on his arms and his head.
He'll bust out a scanner and he'll start analyzing the current. Longbeard, did you notice this?
Yeah, Theo. There's electricity. There's some sort of power source. Enel seems to be giving off it. Definitely Kaizen related, very similar to what I can do with my powers. She seems to be powering the incubators.
She's powering them?
Yes.
You said it was Kaizen related.
Yes, definitely. I can see the patterns of it. I can drain off the excess if you need to touch the stuff.
He'll walk over to Enel, and then he'll just kind of look her over and start scanning. There's got to be some way to get this electricity died down a little bit.
As you're scanning, the left hand of the original Enel reaches out and grabs onto Theo's wrist.
Are you awake? He just clasps his hand over her face, on the side of her head. Are you awake, Enel?
Her body will sit bolt upright, but her eyes are still closed, and her mouth is just open, and saliva starts to run out of it.
He'll wipe it off and start. Enel, all right.
Theo, help me.
All right. He'll grab her and just kind of rest her right back down. Shh, it's okay. I'm right here.
Theo, where are you? The children. The children. The children. Help me. Help me. The children. They got the children. Help me.
No, shh. It's okay. It's okay. I'm right here. They're all right. They're all right. Fuck, damn it. Would be great if we had our fucking doctor here right now!
I have a feeling that all of these extensions are exacerbating her condition. If we could get these all disconnected, I know you might feel some connection towards these, but I do not feel that all of these clones are doing her any good. You have your original. These would be good to be... It would be good to get rid of the rest of these.
He just slams his fist down on the table. No, damn it, they're still fucking people!
They're bodies!
No, some of them are just bodies. Others are not.
You have to make up your mind what is most important. Your Anel or all of these other extensions. These creatures inside of her. In all of these things that are not doing good. They're not doing her good.
Thea's wrist starts to hurt. The pressure that her hand is on. She's just squeezing as hard as she can.
This is only a theory, a hypothesis, but I feel as if all of these bodies are serving as like batteries to a cell. They're all affecting her. You disconnect these, it will weaken the effect.
Okay. All right.
Don't. No. Don't. Yeah, help. Don't let them take the children. Not the children.
Okay, he'll grab the one connection that's connected to the headless corpse, the one that's just a torso, and you'll start to see his chest heave in and out, and he'll just disconnect it.
This fluid starts to leak out of both ends of the tubes. It has like this like saline type thickness to it. It sort of drops in little puddles on the ground and runs down your hand.
Okay, we can patch this up a little bit here. All right.
It sort of spurts out like a heartbeat.
How much of the solution is within the body, though, I wonder. Just let that drain.
Not the children. Don't let them. They're taking the children.
Shh, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Then he goes over to the other tube that's connecting the other torso that is there, and he'll disconnect that one.
It will leak out as well, and the first one sort of just floats up and is resting on the ceiling of the room. And then the second one follows it up and sort of lays on top of it haphazardly at like an angle.
Theo looks down and says, fuck, this is just the kind of shit nightmares are made of. God damn it. All right. Okay. Let's,
So just to be clear, you're detaching the ones that, you detach the corpse, and then you're detaching the ones with snakes. Is that right? Or are you detaching all of them?
Just the one that's just a torso with no arms or legs or anything.
Okay, there's 4 of those.
There's 4 of those?
Yes, and then there's the corpse that was also dismembered that had the worms, and that was the first one that was scanned.
The other ones, they all had the worms in them too, right?
The corpse had worms. The armless, headless one had the worm snake things. There was another armless, headless one with snake things. There was 1 and 2 that had human children inside.
Okay, the ones that have the human children, I will leave alone. The rest will get detached.
Okay. So there are 3 bodies that have floated up, levitated up to the surface, to the ceiling of the room that you're in, the cargo room. And they're all sort of piled up on top of each other like a mass grave on the ceiling.
Okay. There you go. That seems to be doing the trick.
The light that's flashing in all of your heads, Longbeard's and Theo's and Esteban's, lessens.
Help me get those two that have the human children or human-like children into the containment units.
All right, let's get them down there.
So he wheels one of the containment units over there. And he helps load one of them into it.
And Theo will load the other one into the other containment unit.
So you're putting them in the containment units, but you're leaving them attached still to the original, correct?
They're
Yes.
going to need to be disconnected.
I don't know what the effects of that is going to be. Could we stabilize them?
That is my hope.
All right, we'll do that. You'll just attach them all now.
As soon as he disconnects them all, he encases them in the containment units and activates the units.
Whenever you disconnect them, Nell starts to scream. I won't do it, but it's just... She screams until there's no oxygen left. She takes a huge gasp, and then she continues to scream.
I am sorry, woman. I am sorry.
And it's hard to tell, but it seems like she's screaming children.
He'll take the sedative and just. It's okay. It's all right. Just calm down. Just calm down.
You see that there are tears streaming out of her eyes, and the sedative takes hold. It seems like her knocks are out, and then all of the bodies fall that were floating.
Splat.
Oh my god.
You hear a sort of rupture noise out of the 3 that were on the ceiling. There's blood and amniotic fluid and various sorts of liquids leaking out of the bodies.
In sort of a panic, Esteban runs over to the ones that had snakes in them, and he just starts frantically looking around to see if there's any loose.
Yes, there's probably 3 of them that have left their hosts, and they're squirming and splashing in liquid and blood.
He drags one of the other containment units over there, the last one, and he just starts throwing as many of them in there as he can. And he tries to haul the bodies up with the other ones, and he tries to put that into the containment unit.
Okay, so you reach down and grab one. Why don't you give me roll a number of dice equal to your willpower rating. So if your willpower rating is like a 6, then roll 6 dice. This moment in Wars is brought to you by the World of Darkness Dice Roller.
Willpower. Wits, resolve, intelligence, dexterity, stamina, presence, manipulation. What is willpower?
It's just what the hell's the rating?
Willpower is it's your willpower points basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's based off of 2 stats. I don't even remember which 2 stats it is.
I think it's composure and resolve or something like that.
Okay.
I forget.
And I'll roll. The alien baby got 2 successes.
I got 0 successes.
Okay. So whenever you reach out and grab the squirming snake-like thing. You go to throw it, and it leaves your hand, but there's sort of this momentary blindness that you have, where your whole skull is filled with light. It seems to you that it's so bright that you think that it's probably flying out of your eyes and your mouth and your nose and your ears. It's so overwhelmingly bright, as if you're in the center of a churning sun.
Okay, as soon as that happens, he just raises his hands up to the side. And he's like, "Ah, the light!"
Oh, Esteban, what's going on?
It's those things. I can't see the light. Is it like constant light, or is it just like a flash?
Yeah, it's like all of your inner dialogue, your thoughts, the mental pictures that fill your mind as you think about things, has all been replaced with just this blinding white light. You can't see anything around you.
He says, "I am become the sun." He's just standing there with his eyes wide open, his arms just waving about.
Oh, jeez. All right. He'll walk over to one of the squirming ones, and he won't touch. He's just gonna stare at it, and damn it. He'll grab Esteban. Esteban, just listen to my voice, all right? I'm going to walk you over here to this chair. I'm going to set you down. Just focus on that, all right?
You'll see the Longbeard is making sure that the other Enels are situated on the beds. He's picking one up that fell kind of half on the bed, half not.
That's good. All right, we'll just sit you right here, Esteban. There you go.
When he does that, he touches his head and he tries to activate his barrier to thought. He's like, "I will remain control of myself."
The light fades, and your sight returns.
"I am my own. I control me." He's saying this like he's saying it to himself. He's just like touching his fingers to his forehead. So he stands up and goes, "We must get those things in the containment unit."
All right, we'll just use a long. He'll run over to where the he'll head over to the to one of the Jeffrey tubes, and he'll say, "Be right there in a second." And he'll run up there and he'll start. He'll activate the two arm bots, and he'll get them down on the platform that'll lower down into that cargo hold, and then he'll have them pick them up and then throw them in the containment.
Okay, they'll do that. See them squirming around in containment capsules.
The wounds, too. The wounds that still hold some must go as well.
All right. Well, I'll get those in there as well. He can't help but look at the squirming creatures, looking at their features in more clear detail. You'll see the black eyes, as flashes of those black eyes that had held his face before.
He also can't help but see similar features to himself in Enel.
And with that thought, that noticing this, he gets really sick in his stomach.
You see one little arm sort of reach up.
And he'll have the machine gently pick it up and put it in there. And he can't even look. He just turns his head away. Damn it.
So with all the bodies that were floating, now in containment. You too.
Esteban walks over to the containment unit that has all of the worms, the snakes in it. I will take these away. And he starts pushing the cart towards the door.
Hold on. Just try to keep them alive for now.
He just looks at you. What reason?
It doesn't feel right. I don't know. Just keep them alive for now. Just do what you can.
Esteban, where are you taking them?
I am taking them away.
Longbear raises an eyebrow. To where?
I do not believe that they are healthy for the crew of this vessel. I believe that they are very unhealthy. I was going to push them out a decompression chamber airlock.
Longbear looks over at Theo, then looks back at Esteban, and kind of says, with a frown, "Do it. We have to be safe."
Very well. And he pushes them out the door.
Before you even get there, Theo runs up there and just kind of grabs your arm. Just get off of it. I'll do it.
Are you sure, Theo?
This is a medical matter. I will take care of it.
No. I'll do it.
Don't you wish to be with your Anel?
They're my kids.
Don't you wish to be with your Anel?
I will be with her. I just need to do this.
They're not your kids. They were created by those she monstrosities.
Well, regardless, they still have my DNA. They have our DNA in them. And that doesn't make them, in a lot of ways, that makes them human. Whether I want to acknowledge that or not. I wouldn't be much of a father if I didn't take that responsibility.
I will go with you then.
Do whatever you need to do then. He'll just start pushing the cart off.
The amniotic fluid sort of sloshing in the bottom of the containers. And with that, why don't we go back to Alex again? You still there, Alex?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Has Bryce noticed any thought forms dropping out of the picture?
Not yet, but some of them seem to be weaker. You see that the life forms are sort of separating from the main area where they were, and the ones that are moving farther away seem weaker. Also, some of the other ones do as well.
He, I guess, moves over to Pawn, kind of tousles her hair a bit while checking to see if her nose has stopped bleeding.
Yeah, it seems to have done the trick. She's sort of moving her legs around, and she looks a little bored, but she's just looking out the windows.
I should go see what's taking the others so long. Do you want to keep an eye on the shuttle?
Sure. And I'm just going to talk to myself for a while, and she motions to the Fleshport plug-in that's in the console.
Is it in a console on the shuttle itself, or just in the shuttle bay?
The shuttle bay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Paul.
Okay. She sort of just walks over there and sits down, plugs herself in. And she sort of leans back and closes her eyes.
With that, Bryce just starts Nervously, not really wanting to walk into hell again, heading towards the elevator. And makes his way down to where the bodies are being moved to.
Okay, so that you guys meet up. So Esteban and Theo are pushing the cart, and you're there.
What's the situation?
The situation is shitty. I'm going to...
You made the separation?
Yes. We did. Thanks to the help of the doctor. You know, he's so very fucking helpful right now, you know? He's so helpful to be there and stuff, and, you know, the captain, you know, they get along just fucking dandy. It's wonderful how we get things done when we have situations like this to be able to pull the fuck together. And then you just start pushing past real quickly.
Esteban grabs him by the shoulder and says, "Focus on my voice. Think about one thing, the now." He seems oddly calm, very strange. Strangely calm.
Bryce doesn't know what to make of either of them. Right, so what's the game plan then? You're moving them over here, they're in quarantine boxes.
Bryce, the inside of these are hybrids. And he kind of just stops the cart and lets them look inside. When we disconnected them, their bodies started floating and they fell.
Bryce just kind of winces silently and rests a hand on Theo's shoulder.
That thing has mine and Annelle's DNA, but it's also got its DNA inside of it.
I don't know what to tell you, Theo.
Everyone else says that they need to be destroyed. I wish we could just remove the sheep part and keep the rest.
You could talk to Colt about that, but I'm not sure the results would be any better.
That's why I gotta do this. And he just begins grabbing the cart and pushes it.
As you're pushing the cart, you're getting more of those flashing lights, those thought symbols without form that are in your mind.
Do they reach Bryce as well?
Oh yeah, anyone that's near them.
I still have my... Is it getting through my thought field? My barrier to thought?
It's like the foundation of thought. These symbols, they're not actually words. They're just pre-thought. And Tim, that barrier protects you from them.
Okay. When he gets to the airlock, Theo will open up the door and push the cart inside. He'll then close the door with him inside, so he's in the in-between chamber now. And he'll activate his heat protection aura. And then afterwards, he'll open up the containment unit. Well, no, actually, he'll open up a little slot inside the containment unit and just put his palm up against it, and then activate his flame burst inside of there, and incinerating the entire lot inside.
You'll get a bright white flash and then the light ceased to appear in your head.
He'll open up the containment units, and then dumping what remains out there, and he'll drag it back out, and then after he closes the door, he'll just hit the airlock, and then as it opens, the fluid, which was on the floor, but because of the suction, gets sucked out, and because it is now exposed to an environment without gravity, it becomes water droplets that neatly and very cleanly pick themselves up and get sucked out. These black, charred remains that are now completely unrecognizable from any other refuse other than the biology that they used to be, as they drift out into the cold, empty void. And Theo just kind of stares out the window.
The blue light of the rift sort of illuminates half of them.
With that, he'll hold his head down, and he'll leave the cart there, and he'll just walk back. He'll say absolutely nothing. His fist is kind of shaking as it's clasped in his hand, and just walks.
All right, back with Longbeer. You'll see that Colt has returned. He's sort of standing in the doorway, and he's sort of just looking down. And gee, I'm sorry. I couldn't handle this anymore. He sort of looks up at Longbeer. What do you want me to do?
Longbeer looks up from Manel, who he was scanning, making sure that she's okay, and it's fine, Colt. I apologize as well. I lost control. I'm sorry. We just need to make sure Anel and the baby and the others are okay. Theo is taking care of the other bodies. I mean, the other hybrids.
It seems that he's detached them and removed them. Are just the human children left? Is that correct?
The human hybrid. So I think we haven't had a chance to scope them to find out what they actually are, whether they're pure human or a human hybrid. In fact, I mean, you would be the best person to do that for us.
Yes, I have some experience with their genetics.
Longbeer's face kind of like frowns. He can't help but be slightly put off by that.
I haven't been completely honest with you, Longbeer. I spent some time on Ganymede.
On Ganymede?
I did some research on a body.
What kind of body?
One of the She. Before we set out, I had just returned samples to Ganjin before, well, let's just say that I've done various experiments with it, so I should be able to detect it fairly easily.
Why didn't you tell us? I mean, this isn't. We've been dealing with the She. We're going to battle with them. Why wouldn't you give us this information?
I'm not supposed to reveal that to anyone. He sort of looks at your eyes. I'm also a Sisson operative. You know, the one that Jylan worked for. Earther-based.
Logvier places the bioscanner down and stands up.
Do you see why I didn't reveal my information now? Until now, anyway.
So where do your loyalties lie now?
I hoped that by revealing this, I would tell you and show you that my loyalties lie with the crew. But I would be lying if I said that that has always been the case. I sent some reports about you to Jylan himself. The original. I've been on his payroll for quite some time. I'm sorry. I didn't expect this kind of situation to happen. I'm normally more collected and calm than this, but I'll submit to anything that you want to do. I have lived several lives now. I'm okay if this happens to be my last one. But I wanted to be honest with you before the hammer falls on me.
The air around Logvier begins to become ionized. But he turns and very calmly, with a calm mask of nothingness on his face, he says, begin scanning a Nell and get the biopsies done that we need. We'll discuss it with the crew when they get here.
Understood. There will be no more outbreaks from me from now on.
Logvier sort of nods at him but doesn't respond, and then just walks over to where the door is, and turns around and just watches what's happening. After a couple seconds, he keys and says, "Aisho?"
Yes, Captain. Is there something I can do for you in your time of mourning?
Remove Colt from the command structure. He's now considered just a guest.
Should I remove all Colts?
Yes. For now. Were the clones added to, or were all the secondary clone beings that were added to the system?
As of this point, no, but it is a good time to ask you about that.
They should be marked in as guests at the moment. Guest rate passwords.
It has been implemented. Anything else, Captain?
No, that's okay, Aisho. That's fine for now.
You would not have me play traditional Ganjan music over the comms, perhaps. I have been researching the various customs.
No, at the moment, I think we need to have some quiet.
Captain,
where is location of Theo?
Theo seems to be returning towards your location now, Captain. His task has been completed.
Thank you, Aisha.
Captain, I have a question.
Yes, Aisha.
Do you want to communicate more with you and the crew? I have been stand-offish, I believe is the colloquial term.
Do you mean if you have secondary opinions of information?
Yes, Captain. Should I offer this information willingly, or should I wait for inquiries?
You can make those comments, yes. If you feel that there's a need.
Okay, Captain. That is good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome, Aisha. By the way, are the scanners picking up anything yet?
We are alone, Captain.
Is the Quay vessel still out there?
It was. It doesn't seem to be registering on our scanners, but comms are picking it up.
Okay, that's fine.
Why isn't it coming up on our scanners, Captain? Strange.
Might have some sort of cloaking field or cloaking device attached. Something that we're not accustomed to yet.
It just shows you a picture of the Quay vessel on the monitor that's closest to you out in the hall.
If the Quay vessel moves from there, can you let us know, please?
Yes, Captain. I will monitor it. It hasn't communicated with us.
That's fine. Where is the location of Pawn?
Pawn is plugged into the New Realms program outside of the docking bay. Currently waiting, I believe, for Bryce and Theo to return. She is having a pleasant time.
I show location Bryce and Esteban.
Esteban is with Theo, returning also to your location. Bryce is moving quickly to somewhere.
He steps through the door. Yes, Captain, what's up?
Well, he seems slightly startled as you pass through the door. Thank you, Aisha. Bryce, I have information concerning Cole, but I was kind of hoping if the rest get here, I won't have to explain it twice. And you can feel just that even as you enter in that there's the air around Longbeer is all staticky. Your hair begins to stand up, we don't even have any hair, do we? You can feel that static energy around him. And he just seems to stare at Colt, never turning.
What's Colt looking like right now?
Colt seems like he's paying attention to his work. His eyes never meet Longbeer's. He looks guilty of something. Like a dog that has shown a mess that it just made on the floor.
Theo walks in afterwards, his head pointed down, and as he does, he'll walk straight over to where Manella is, and he'll just sit right next to her. He'll kind of just reach his hand out and hold it.
Esteban entered with him as well.
Should have been right behind me.
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Longbear motions for Bryce and Esteban to follow him as he walks over to where Theo is. Theo. First, I'm sorry for your losses. I know that that's not easy for anyone. And he kind of looks over at Colt and he says, Colt has just told me that he's part of the Chanson. He was giving information to Jalen Wraith, and he's been working for them. He's also worked on She before from Ganymede.
His eyes now look up and look in the faces of the crew. And he puts the bioscanner down on the Enel that's closest to him.
Bryce's eyes snap to lock with them, and he uses past thoughts reflexively.
You'll see that a week ago was his last transmission to Jylan. And before that, there's been lots of reports. Anything that he's witnessed, been around, heard of, rumors of all the events and since you've left Gonjan were sent to him.
Is there anything confirming the alliance between the Earthers and the She?
I'll let you answer that. What do you find in the depths of Colt's mind? Really, it could be anything. Paint a pretty picture for us.
I find that a lot of the transmissions that he's been sent or receiving are through some sort of hidden set of She symbols that even he is passing back and forth in a rudimentary way. And I see all sorts of diagrams that are being worked on and translated into this symbol tongue. Diagrams of maverick ships, of Ganjan vessels, Nobots, and even some Earther structures that you wouldn't think would have been paid attention to if it were, a unified effort on the Earthers' parts to collect information. It seems a little unusual that Colt is noting any of this information, but it all seems to be stored in a dossier that he's adding to. Except this information that he's adding includes various genomes and genetic peculiarities of different Maverick and Ganjan ethnicities. Potentially sorting out, maybe just quirks or weaknesses, inherited allergies, exploitable psychological quirks like predilection to addiction in certain genes. It's a really strangely encyclopedic work. But again, it's all being filtered into this strange tongue of symbols that is a lot of effort for Bryce to work out.
As you're digging around in his mind, you stumble upon a series of strange memories in that they have a different feel to them. You've delved in a couple people's minds now, and you're not exactly sure why, but they seem off, or they seem, implanted or fake. And these memories are the memories of Colt's parents, his family, his friends, the robot that he trusted in, that was his only friend. They seem to be covering something. And as you sort of chip away at them piece by piece, as if you're breaking down the mental barriers, almost like a wall, that these memories seem to be hiding something behind them. And as you sort of focus and concentrate your will, you start to see other memories that seem truer, that seem to be real, that seem to be the core of this person's original nature. You see surgeries and pictures, mental pictures of staring into a mirror after surgery. And as you go backwards in time, Colt's face, slowly but surely, as you go back to previous incarnations of himself, going backwards in time, becomes Jylan Wraith's face. And the last memory that you see is him planning things out You have memories of setting things up, having various versions of himself in various places all over the solar system.
Does Bryce have any sense as to why he feels guilty about this, or why he made his confession?
You get the feeling that the cult version of himself does legitimately feel bad. That the original Jyland's thoughts, the schemes, the plots of having versions of himself all over the solar system aren't the same as his. That he's reached some breaking point, that perhaps seeing these bodies, seeing the She do this to humanity, has changed his outlook, perhaps, his loyalties. He seems to be genuinely remorseful for everything that he's done. He has a deep-seated feeling of guilt. But as you know, he has sent almost everything about you, about your travels, your expeditions, your sorrows, your tragedies, everything to Jyland.
Up to a week ago,
when these doubts started to ferment and started to bother him.
Bryce just stays quiet and listens to whatever the first word after the reveal is.
I think I lost myself in the narrative there. So Jyland was looking at you guys when you were digging in his thoughts. I think he was sort of waiting for someone else to speak.
So we all kind of know what he's admitted his fault, and I don't know. My gut reaction is just to cut him down, but
probably Theo and I don't know what's happening since we just came in.
Well, you know what I explained.
Oh, okay.
About being the Syscon or whatever that is.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Sisson, but I don't know.
That's fine. Sisson?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's written down on page, you don't know how it's pronounced.
C-I-S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's in communications with Jyland Wraith up to a week ago. Explains a lot of the problems that we had. It's well known that the Earthers probably know everything about us. Well known that we have no advantage in everything.
What does this mean? Who is this Jyland Wraith?
Jyland was a Earther operative, or a clone of the original Jyland Wraith. That's hard to say. He had boarded our ship and tried to basically infiltrate basically break up our journey to visit the Rift. Probably sent by the Earther government, since it was a Maverick Gungeon combination and the Earthers weren't involved. In the end, we ended up killing him and removing him, and removing the clones that he had there as well, the secondary clones. It's all kind of a blur for me, as I was someone different then. My memories are slightly off.
Yes, I was one of the many backup plans, and it just so happened that all of those other plans failed. And here I was. And I did what I was told to do.
So you have communicated with Earth. You have told them everything that is happening here.
That is correct. I have talked and reported to my genetic donor. The original me.
Esteban stands there completely unmoving, his eyes just fixed, unblinking. He's just like a statue.
What do you mean genetic donor?
Colt here used to, well, he came from exactly the same stock, the same line of research as Jylen.
You could say
Practically the
that.
same person if you go back far enough. Am I right?
You could say that. But we've had different experiences, and it may sound shallow or empty, but as long as my life lasts, I would stay on with the crew.
What sickened you the most?
He just sort of motions his arms down to all of the bodies that are here. This. I just can't abide seeing this. And it might surprise you, since previous versions of myself have been so experimental with genetics. But maybe that isn't so surprising, since you've seen how many things I've done to myself as Colt. It's just been a pattern of my life, my various lives. I've always wanted to expand, to move outward, to try new things, to be different people. But this is too far. I think they're going to destroy us, all of us, regardless of political affiliation.
I suppose at worst, your destruction would be clipping a fingernail to them.
I'm just the source of information. They don't care about me. And I'm sure my original donor doesn't either. I have vague memories, but they are obfuscated. They're hidden behind my fake memories. I see that now.
How many times have the she come aboard our vessel?
Do you really want to know the answer to that? I don't know if you'd sleep well tonight if you heard the truth.
I wouldn't have asked if I didn't want to know.
Honestly, I've lost count. You all sort of slumber for a time, and they make notes and observations and leave without a trace.
Have they been back since their ship, was fragmented?
They haven't been back lately. I think the ones that have been monitoring us have been destroyed. I believe the Chompers did that. And you all finished the rest. I wouldn't be surprised if another ship, however, continues on the pattern if they can find us. I've always been sort of unsure why they want to observe you, but not stop you. They seem to know things, almost as if they're trying to protect you.
Are we being used?
If I had to guess, yes. But I have the feeling that it is your own decisions that are to their benefit somehow. They don't reveal all to us. The memories that I have, the information that I've been given. But they do work with the Earthers. When it benefits them.
When you say the Earthers, are we talking their government at large, or a fragment?
Currently, they work only with the Sisson network of spies. I'm sure you saw that little headline in the news, Captain. I believe that the operatives were behind that. Not the Earther government at large. But it's been so long since I've been on the inside of things, I don't remember. It's just a guess. I wouldn't be surprised either if they have something to do with the Nobots. We have a very long arm in the solar system. I've met several agents in our travels. Some are there with the settlers. You know, the ones that you set up that Quay establishment with? They're even there. They wanted to get more operatives on board, but you didn't take any of the females with you. They were disappointed. They thought for sure that you'd take some of them aboard.
Longbeard turns to Theo and looks directly at him. Theo, you asked me to be calm, and I have been. What, you haven't said anything?
I don't know what to say. You son of a bitch. You could have prevented all this from happening. All I want to do right now is burn your corpse into nothing. And from there, he'll get up and running away from the bodies and stuff. He'll grab them and he'll put him right to the back of the cargo hold, and he'll start. His flames will just activate.
Esteban runs over and grabs his hand. Remain calm. Remain in control of yourself.
I don't care to remain in control. I'm going to burn him.
Your Anel needs you.
I'm going to burn every single one of them. And when I find Jylin, I'm going to find him. I'm going to introduce him to death.
Go to your Anel. She needs you.
Esteban's high hands start to burn from the heat that's emanating from Theo, and Colt / Jylin Wraith starts to scream as the flames and heat start to pour off of Theo.
You feel a strong hand pulling Esteban's shoulder. Leave it be, Esteban.
He screams, "I'm sorry," as the flames start to lick his skin. And
there may be more information we can collect from him. Do not kill him now.
Theo lets go, and he just collapses to his knees on the ground, and his head will be facing downward. I didn't ask for any of this. Why didn't you say anything? Why did you put her through all that? Bastard.
You see Colt hits the ground and starts trying to put out the flames on himself, burning his hands in the process.
Esteban goes over and starts helping him put the flames out.
I'm telling you now, it's the only consolation I can give you.
It might be best if I escort him to Medbay and contain him there.
Escort him to his room.
Very
That
well.
is often said.
Very well. Esteban goes over, helps him stand up, and holds him by the elbow and starts leading him towards the door.
Captain, should I have Gino stand guard?
Please, I should.
Orders have been sent. He will meet you there, Esteban.
Very well. As I escort him out the door, I lead him down a hallway, and I stop and look back and make sure the door is shut. Then I grab him by the back of the hair and yank his head back and slam him face first into the wall. I wrap my other arm up around his shoulder and lock his head in, and I trip him and throw him to the ground. And I pull out a plasma pistol and put it to the side of his head. You tell me exactly what you told them of Esteban.
I've told them everything, Esteban. We have records on you. They actually sent me information. You're quite an interesting fellow.
Exactly what?
It's good that I have some genetic material from you. You're quite unique. Are you gonna hunt us all down soon? Isn't that your thing? You gonna let me run down this hallway and shoot me? In the back? Are you gonna gut me? Take a trophy? Or are we gonna do just like the captain said? It's your call.
Who is this Jylan Wraith? I know of not of this name.
He and or I run the spy network of Earth. Except now I'm different. In some ways.
In what ways?
I've come to realize that my loyalties have shifted. You can do what you want. I don't even care anymore. I just wanted to be honest before the end.
He hauls him up by the shoulder, and he picks him up and he starts dragging him along to his room. And finally, when he gets to his room, I'm sure Gino is probably there by now. He throws him in and locks the door.
He stands up and turns around, and the last thing you see is his eyes staring out from the little porthole in the door.
I just turn and put my back against the wall, then just starts pounding on the wall. Damn it! Motherfucker! He just turns around and stalks off.
You see that Gino sort of turns and watches you walk away, and then it turns around and looks through the portal.
I hate to ask this, but is Esteban's thought shield still up?
I'm sure it has some sort of duration to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably discontinued it. He's probably shut it off by now.
Oh, okay. All right.
That
actually makes things better for Esteban.
All right, so where should we go to next? I guess everybody else is back there, so we'll go back there. You're with it. Everyone is with the Nell in their various forms. The ones that are left. The room has a burning, singed ozone scent to it. And the medical waste that's all over the floor is starting to... It's like a dull underscent.
Theo will get up, from his slumped over position, his eyes red and glazed over. There'll be a few, it looks like tears running down his face, but the heat has already evaporated them. And he will walk over to the medical bay, to the medical tables, and he'll begin to grab them and start pushing them out of the room. We can take these back to the med bay.
We can do that, Theo. Why don't you stay with the Nell?
Oh, that's what he's doing. He's grabbed the nail. He's taking her.
Oh, Nels.
Absolutely. We'll give you a hand there, Theo. Bryce walks over to one of the other carts and begins wheeling it behind him.
Longbeard does the same. And as he leaves, he tells Aisho, please lock this door. Don't let anything out. All right.
Yes, Captain.
After Theo does that, he will immediately walk back into the cargo room. And he'll just stare at his original self. He'll just kind of stand there in a contemplative posture, and he'll look very lost in thought. He'll occasionally take the bioscanner and run it over him to see his vitals.
When we get to the medical bay, Longbeard turns to Bryce and says, Bryce?
Yes, Captain.
Is there a way that we can make it so this isn't locked out anymore? The room, I mean. I want to see what's going on in here.
I would assume so. You'll have to talk to Theo about that. Or if no, he's busy. I'll find a way to do it myself.
All right. Well, if you need help, I can help you.
Should I tell Pong we're delaying our trip to the she vessel?
Kind of shakes his head. Yeah, I guess at this point, yeah. Let's probably maybe get her back up into the bridge, maybe. I know that she likes to have something to do.
Absolutely. Bryce actually sidles over to one of the flesh ports in the walls and kind of slumps down and says, I'll get in touch with her as soon as I can. And jacks into it.
You'll see the familiar picture of the slight hillside with the flowers and the white vestibule and the lake. And out in a little boat, you see Little Pawn on the front and the New Realms Pawn taking her for a ride, sitting sort of like the back middle of the vessel. There's a slight breeze.
Bryce takes a deep breath of the imaginary air and just works his way towards the shoreline, waving his hands, knowing that if he were to yell, they probably wouldn't really be able to make anything out, but that they should be able to see.
As you
Treating it like it's a real ocean.
As you wave your hand, the scenery sort of warps and bends, as if as you move the air, you move the scenery around you, and the ship changes direction and slides up into the sand in front of you. And little pawn sort of jumps down into the sand and runs up to you and gives you a hug around the waist.
Bryce just sort of chuckles and, how's the sailing been treating you?
It's so nice here. It's windy. I don't remember. It's been so long since I felt wind.
It really is different, isn't it? I wish I could stay here for a few hours. I just came by to tell you, though. It looks like we'll be going to the She ship, some other time. We're taking a bit of a breather to figure other things out on the Okina.
Why don't you spend some time here? We can go sailing. And you see the pawn that's on the sailing ship is just looking at you. And she sort of has this, like, I don't know, like sad smile on her face.
Bryce kind of looks up at the one out on the ship and then back to Pawn and says, I really have to get back. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on, but if you want to stay here, I can take care of things on the bridge. Just have a good time, okay?
Okay, but you gotta come here some other time, okay? You gotta give me a rain check.
I will.
Can't have you being all sad and mopey all the time. You gotta have some fun too, you know? Right?
He
right?
tussles her hair again, gives her another squeeze, and then looks up at Big Pawn on the sailboat and waves before performing whatever sort of disconnect he needs to step out of the realms.
The last thing that you see is the New Realms pawn just sort of waving and like wiggling her fingers, and she seems to have more of a genuine smile now.
He just turns to Long. She needs to relax. She's just a kid. I'll head to the bridge, okay?
There's really no need. I was just trying to find something for her to do so that I was afraid that she would feel abandoned like we left her. But if she's occupying herself, that's fine.
She seems to be having a good time. But what should I be doing, Captain?
Well, first, if possible, if we can get this room so it's open to the comms. I mean, at this point, I don't even care if we hard line a camera in here, just so that you can keep eyes on what happens in here. I don't like having a portion of the ship that's undetectable. Yeah,
I'll get right on that. He just starts sliding back panels on the walls and investigating the data terminal to see the record of what Theo's done in terms of modifications, and just figuring it out and occupying himself with that.
As you do that, you hear Theo walking down the hallway. His pace is quite quick, and he's got his tool belt on and stuff. And he walks up.
Theo, you okay?
I'm fine. I just need to do something.
Well,
what are you doing here?
Trying to reactivate the cameras and the internal systems in here.
I'll get that done real quick. And he, as soon as he gets done saying that, he just kind of pulls off a panel and he crawls almost completely inside. And then after about 5 minutes of noises and various clinking and the bay is connected.
Well, thanks, Dave.
You really keep your work back there neat. That's.
He doesn't really respond. He just gets up and puts the panel back on. Okay, I'm gonna head over to the She ship now.
Theo, really, it's that. Is this really the time?
He's already walking past, and he's already heading up to the shuttle.
Well, he's not going to be walking past for long, because Bryce will find his stride quite rapidly. You're okay? You're good? We should go do this?
Yeah, perfectly fine. I have to focus on something, so keep my mind occupied.
Okay, I've done 8 system checks on the shuttle. It's good to go.
Good. I'll get Fred and Melma over there as well. Since we left them floating out there and collected them back, we had to detach those strange objects attached to the back of them. I still don't know what those are about. But for now, it looks like they're okay.
Bryce just gives him a half-nervous nod.
And as Datapad will start typing up, Fred and Melma, come up to the shuttle bay area.
And the response will be no problem, jackass.
Sally.
You get a response. She seems like she's in her quarters. She's like she's just woke up from a nap. Yeah. What is it?
Can you head up to the cockpit and maneuver the ship closer towards the she vessel?
Her hair's like all messed up. She starts rubbing her eyes. Sure. No problem.
And with that, he'll get right into the shuttle and wait for Fred and Melma to get up there.
They'll plod their way over and attach themselves to the outside of the shuttle. You'll hear their clanking feet from the inside of the shuttle.
All right, Fred and Melma. When the ship gets within these coordinates here, as he sends it to them, detach yourselves and then link to the foreign vessel adjacent.
No problem.
And then when all that happens, he'll take off in the shuttle as they detach and then reattach to the surface of the she vessel. And as the shuttle lands on top of the she vessel, he'll get out and with various tools, he'll begin instructing Fred and Melma to begin cutting chunks of the surface hull of the she vessel into, I'd say 5 by 5 squares or 5 by 10 section pieces.
Okay, I think that's probably a good place to break off for this episode, at least with those guys. Back on the ship, let's go around here. What's Esteban doing right now?
Esteban has just gone around the corner from the quarters of Colt, and he just has his back up against the wall, and he's slowly beating the back of his head on the wall. Not hard, but just like thumping it. Then he collects himself up, and he goes back around the corner, and he walks up to Gino. Gino, I am going to attend to the wounds of Colt. I am going to go into this room. Okay?
No problem, Esteban. And Gino steps aside and opens the door.
So he goes in the room and closes it behind him. And then he calmly, he just brushes off his clothes and he just sits in a chair over in the corner. He says, I must apologize for my earlier uncivilized behavior. I did not mean to react so harshly to you. Colt, Jylan, Colt Wraith, Jylan, Colt Wraith.
Can't say I object. It seems only natural to me. The genetics always tell. They always come out.
Since you're in such a revealing mood, I thought maybe, just maybe, you might be able to share some information with me.
Oh, I think we could have quite a long talk.
tell me, what do you know of a Temu Cairo?
Okay, that's probably a good place to break off there.
Yeah.
All right, and then how about the captain?
The captain continues setting up the medical bay, and then reaches over to where one of the major scanners are, the full body scanner, and begins scanning it now. But then he notices that there's already something scanned there, and he begins reading it. And we can wait to see what that is, I guess.
Okay, and we'll go with Alex last. What's Bryce up to right now?
Bryce just indicates on the comms, Theo, if you're okay there, I'm going to jet over inside the vessel and look through their computer system. There are some things that I'm curious about.
Gotcha.
And then his jets just kind of away.
All right, so we got Bryce and Thea working on the she vessel. There's some interrogation / questioning going on, and yeah, it's all good. There's some information that might be revealed through a bioscanner. All right, guys. Again, I'll end today's session, and yeah, who wants to start first? Who wants to talk about today's events? We could start with Phil. How about we do that?
Oh boy, ton of reveals. This is possibly all right. Well, it's a lot more emotional session than the Chompers one. That's for sure. That the Chompers one was pretty tame compared to this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the moral dilemmas was really nice. I love the reveal of Colt being a Jylin Wraith clone, which is really funny because in our Old Man clone episode, that kind of makes sense now, that he just keeps experimenting with, and then he just starts turning into that blob thing at the end.
Yeah, it's
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was actually a little worried about that. I'm like, well, we already kind of said that. I wonder what happens. If you guys just kill him, then you won't be all friendly. But it's hard. It's hard to predict the future when you do those kind of scenes.
Well, it's a parallel universe.
There you go.
I was going to. I was like, oh man, I kept sitting there seething in my seat, rocking back and forth, going, this is so awful. Theo's just like boiling angry. And I figured when Esteban came over and did that, I thought, I don't know if that's a Kizzen power he's using on me. So I thought, yeah, I'll just play off of it. And I thought, yeah, okay. And then I had him break down and sort of start crying for a little bit.
He was just trying to do what you did earlier and calming him down. Listen to my voice, focus, like you did when he was blinded.
I like it. That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you modified all those encounters, because if you hadn't earlier calmed me down, and then Colt came in that, I would have just squashed him, like, immediately as soon as he said that. Words, your words of being calm and thinking things through kept me from keeping him alive. But I was cool frying him. I'm like, go ahead, fry the fucker.
No, that like part of me was sitting there like, we're gonna barbecue tonight, baby. It's another she barbecue all over again. Oh, that's such turmoil. He's definitely got a lot of baggage now.
Yeah, I think you guys were talking in the bottom there. Who has more baggage? You or Bryce?
That was like that. Yeah.
That's not a competition I want to compete in.
Well, I guess Longbeard has his homeworld being destroyed, mass genocide. So I guess there's a little bit of that in there.
Yeah, I mean, just billions of lives.
Well, he's also, doing the whole like I'm a bad captain. People keep dying under me, So he's got that stuff going on too.
Yeah, I think that's what's hurting him the most. I think.
There's like a lot of things that was really pissing off Theo, I would imagine, because one, like he didn't expect the captain and Cole to start getting into it when he's got all these patients, and he's a little mad at the captain as well for acting that way, but now he's like even more angry at Colt because it turns out it was Jylan Wraith the whole time. Dun dun dun. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We got done dealing with your damn clones. We got done dealing with your stupid centipede clone monster things. And you still reeled your ugly head in the form of Colt. Good grief. And he's been telling them everything.
Yeah.
I think the last episode that I listened to that was recorded was like when he was spaced. So I don't know anything past then. When he got pushed out an airlock or something.
Yeah, he was basically like in the stealth suits, and the only way they probably would have never known he was there, but they were real smart. They were like, yeah, let's monitor the oxygen in each room and see where the oxygen levels are lower.
Yeah.
They were able to.
That was LV426's brain.
Yeah.
And as a GM, I'm like, oh, all right. Okay, yeah, there he is.
And then
two of them though.
Yeah, there was two of them.
And the cool part is that's when Kazuko comes down and just starts talking to the guy, and he starts like down talking him and getting him to calm down and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. I kind of wanted it like. Had we still had Kazuko here, I was kind of thinking that at some point in time he would rub off on Theo, and Theo would be a little less of an anarchist at heart to a degree, and get a little bit more calmness in his mind.
We can always connect his head to Genu or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to Kazuko's head. It's
still in the med bay.
Oh, it's still in the med bay. Oh, I thought we disposed of it.
Oh, guys.
Maybe Kazuko's
Well, no,
head
I stored it away, but it's still in the med bay.
The new mascot of the was it? I can't remember. What's the name of the ship again? Toroboro, right?
The Okina Toroboro.
Yeah, that's the new mascot. Is Kazuko's head. You just put it up in the cockpit, like in a jar.
Oh my, that's just like in Gurren Lagann. They took the head of the bad guy and used him as the computer for the ship.
What is that?
Gurren Lagann. It's an anime with it's about giant mechs and like it's crazy action stuff. I love it.
I've never heard of it. Yeah.
It's like Deadwood, the guy. That the Indian's head you always talk to it.
Oh yeah.
That was actually in what the heck is that? I can't think of the show right now. Todd and the Book of Pure Evil, I think it is. The one guy is like the Satanist counselor for the high school, and he's talking to the head of his old father. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
/ funny. So. All right. That was Phil. Let's go to Alex. What did you think about today?
A lot went down. I've still been trying to figure out the repercussions of Bryce's claustrophobia, and also trying to figure out how it can be less of an issue. It's interesting, the idea of using new realms to treat it, though. Or at least to calm him down when he's in one of those states.
Yeah, I guess it has those big, wide open spaces,
Yeah.
I kept thinking about. I kept wondering how like any of us are going to find out that you have that.
Well, I think at some point deductive reasoning will kick in, but. If at all possible, he'll try and hide it and just not give a reason for, I don't know. I mean, if someone asks him up front what's going on, he will probably describe the sensation of feeling trapped and whatnot, like he did when he was on the hull of the ship and Theo was talking him down. But yeah, I think it's just something that's going to be dealt with organically. Oh man, does Bryce have a lot of counterintelligence work to do now, though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And I should mention, the only reason I asked about Esteban's thought shield was it clicked to me that Bryce would be watching him go around the corner with the doctor, with Colt, and if the thoughts were blocked, he would only notice one thought form following around the corner, and that would be something that would actually make him more suspicious.
Yeah.
Because he's already kind of suspicious of Esteban.
Why?
Why? For his own mysterious reasons.
Yeah.
I guess
I
he's
don't
just
know
paranoid that way.
The way that he looks at his hand in the sky all the time.
Well, that was just a recent event.
The lights, the lights.
That was just a recent event since he came back from being exposed to the rift.
Which is compounded by like all the internal head drama you've been going on with.
And all the drugs.
Yeah, that's too. I forgot about that. At some point, we're going to be like, someone's going to stumble and be like, hey, what are these little oh, maybe Pond might do that. Oh, because she's super curious.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, geez.
I was trying to play it up that his drugs that were running through his system got affected by the light and power coming from the rift, and it affected it. That's why it's normally not visible to a scanner, but affected by the power coming from the rift is like a barium enema going through him, so it was like detectable by anything, any type of med scan, and it was like super enhancing the effects of the drugs.
Yeah, it makes a really cool visual.
Yeah, I like how you totally role-played that multiple personality thing where you were one personality and then the other one kicked in. You're like, you just started right off where you were when the other one took over. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was great enough to where I didn't even know what the hell to say.
I actually just watched Sybil for the first time, and yeah, that totally reminded me of that movie.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to look it up.
It's dealing with a girl with multiple personalities. It's I think from the 70s or 80s.
Oh, okay.
Sally Fields, I think, is in it.
Yeah.
She's
I definitely gotta look it up. No.
Oh, all right, hold on. I'll be right back. Keep going. How about you, Longbeer, Mr. John?
So much happened that. God. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff I mentioned already, but yeah. Esteban just has me so curious as to what his past is as a player. As a character.
He's just a simple.
Think. Yeah.
He's just a simple med bay technician.
Yeah, a med bay technician, yeah. Oh, yeah. The way he takes people down. The hunting part is what gets me as a guy. I also like that whenever you just describe your guy walking, he's always stalking. I want my guy to sashay or something. I want him to have a cool walk, too. So I'm not bullying it.
Maybe that's how the recent effects, all the recent happenings affect Longbeard. He starts to sashay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should save that for the musical episode. That's got me kind of curious, actually. I think I might. I mean, I think it would be so bad it would be funny.
That is distinctly possible.
Or so awful, it's just terrible.
Well, that could be. Yeah.
You can't stop looking away. All right.
It was like a 3-hour train wreck.
Yeah.
Could be like the War's Christmas special.
Oh, gee.
Maybe Chinese New Year or something.
Oh God, it'd just be like Theo sitting there going, "But Longfear, what is Christmas?"
I'm picturing like the bodies of Enel are dancing in the background. You know?
Oh man.
Dancing on
Dancing or
stumps.
floating?
You know, kicking up the stumps left, right. You know, like the Rockettes.
This is just like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what that is. Let's do the time warp again.
Oh man. I think there was like a Buffy and Angel episode that were like that too. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Todd in the Book of Pure Evil. I just watched that a little while ago, and there was a musical. It was like a rock opera. So, so I guess the only person I didn't ask is Tim. But any other thoughts or anything else going on?
I think it would be nice to explore some of the other places in the solar system, like visit some more stations and stuff, and kind of mull over some of the things that have happened.
Yeah, that'd be good. I was kind of like when Pawn was just the AI program on the ship. I kept throwing out things like, "Oh, we're passing a bunch of stations." You're like, "Let's get to the Rift. Screw those places. Hurry up, let's go." I was like, "Oh, all right, that's cool." You know, just let
Now we
know they're there. You know,
now that we have now that we don't have a mission per se, we can the Longer is eventually going to want to activate his undercover Gungeon stuff so that he can try to access any Gungeon that are still alive, which is part of his background, which I guess you guys don't really know that.
there's probably some refugees that have gone to the outer rim of the solar system. I mean, there are some Gungeon settlements out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure there must have been maybe, even like merchant ships or even military vessels that weren't, around Gungeon at the time.
Yeah,
So there has to be some people out there.
sounds good. Yeah, I mean, really, you guys just have to aim the ship and plot the coordinates, and we'll go there. So, if you want to look at the Second Wars PDF, I think it's like Battle something. There's literally a map in there and some locations. So, if there's anything you guys want to, go there.
I had I do this a lot. I during the week I just sit down and I think of like what are some of the mundane things that Theo would do, like I would say like quote around the house, but it's just around the ship. And there's a lot of things I was thinking of. One of them I was thinking of was like him wanting to go with Enel down to Titan to attend a concert of like his favorite music group or something. That's what I was thinking of. And like the whole I was also thinking like maybe the whole reason why he kind of took on the job is so he could save up enough credits to get the damn tickets for it or something like that.
It's one hell of a concert.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you got paid, but
Someone who didn't show up was Theo Jr., the baby Quay. Was he on the Is he on the ship, or where's he at?
He's on the Quay vessel.
Yeah, there's the Quay vessel just I guess just sort of hovering around you guys. That you have no idea what's going on there.
Okay, I thought he came back with us.
Or how long he's going to stay there. Yeah, we're really not sure. Might go his own way.
I want to replicate his cloaking device.
Yeah, it seems like that is something that is going on out there. You're not sure.
I like that you can see it visually, but it's not there when you try to scan it. That's kind of a cool.
It's visual somehow to the naked eye, but not to scanners. It fools the scanners. Somehow.
That's kind of funny because I was looking at the she vessels and stuff, and from the card art, and like one of the flavor text of the card art was talking about how the she vessels have mirrors on their top of their hull, which makes them blend in with space, so they reflect all the light, so you don't really see them there. You know what I mean? Because it's like one big mirror, and it's like, oh, that's so trippy.
That's cool. I actually used to have a bunch of the cards, but I gave them away. It's one of those things like I only have so much room for RPGs. I'm like, I haven't played these collectible card games in forever. Hey kids, you want some of these things?
That's the best way to do it, man. Pass them on to other kids.
Yeah, you're a kid. If you're like into something and someone just gives you a whole crap ton of stuff, you're like, what? This is awesome.
Yeah,
like I did that with baseball cards too. I had a bunch of baseball cards from like the '90s, and I don't know. I was like asking around if anybody had nephews or something that like cards, and I found these two kids. I just gave them like 4 giant boxes of like I don't know Fleer and Pro sets and all kinds of things like that. They were all excited.
I had a whole box full of Magic the Gathering cards, even though I've never played the game before. I bought them just at a garage sale for the pictures on them. But I don't know what happened to them. I was going to sell them to somebody. But I can't find them. I love to have them just for the pictures, just to use.
Yeah. Some of those cards are worth a lot of money, especially if they're like Alpha Edition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of those. I know for a fact that the Black Lotus is one of the.
Oh yeah, Black Lotus.
That's one of the most expensive cards. It's also banned in all tournaments. You can have like only one in there, I believe.
It's just one. There's different formats for play.
Yeah, I was like, good grief.
There's some guys at work that played at lunch, so I watched them. I had never actually played it before. They wanted to buy some of the ones I had, or at least look at them, see if they wanted to buy them.
It's like card stock heroin. That's basically the way I describe it. Because like, my friend was like my drug dealer. He showed up at like a birthday party once and gave me like a starter deck and a couple packs, and
this is all you quote need to play.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like cashing my McDonald's paycheck and like, hey dude, can I buy a box off you? Because he sold cards too. And then like 4 boxes later, it's like, all right, that was awesome.
Pick up a second for your Magic the Gathering, addiction.
I know that one all too well. I've got tons of cards, and like I bought them for the sole purpose that I'm going to play with my friends and stuff. But then like the trap happens where like I get the cards like, hey guys, I got this deck. You want to come over and duel? He's like, no, I can't right now. And then like months pass by, and I'm just like asking constantly, and then like now I've got all these cards. It's like, oh jeez, no one wants to play no more.
Yeah, when I was into Magic, RPGs actually, I didn't play them for a couple of years. I just had a group of friends. We'd play from like 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. when his mom woke up. Like we'd hear an alarm going off upstairs, and we all like run out the door because she never liked to stay in all that late. It was a good time.
The story with it is good too. Like you follow kind of like the canon of the way the Magic cards work. All the quotes on the cards and the description.
Oh yeah,
it's actually fairly cool. It's interesting.
Yeah. They used to have some. Oh, I'm sorry.
One of my favorites was Mirrodin, because I got the book for that one. I read that for a while. I thought that was really cool. All the worlds, like each set is its own world, and I basically was using some of those as inspiration for campaign settings.
Oh,
they're actually great for that. That was cool. I love it.
Yeah, there's an old set called like. I'm sorry, Tim. I got just.
No, I was saying they used to have some cool Flash comic books on their website, but I haven't checked out see if they still have them.
I actually bought some comic books of Magic the Gathering recently. It was at a peddler's mall I went to, and I saw a stack of them, and I was like, oh, I'll buy these. They're like $1 a piece. I was like, this is pretty cool. And they're old comics, but I like the artwork in them. It's pretty nice.
I think last year I bought some Conan the Barbarian comics. It's like they were like used. I was like, oh, cool. I still never got a chance to read them.
That's odd. That went off.
Yeah, my wife's got this cuckoo clock. It's like pain in my ass.
I got these Conan comic books.
I don't know if you guys have heard it. I've been trying to mute it whenever it goes off, but sometimes it goes off in opportune moments.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard it.
I'm also sitting right beside it, so that probably doesn't help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from like Germany in like the 1800s or something crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's old.
That's what you're saying.
You should take that to the Antiques Roadshow, man. They'll probably be like, oh, this here clock was used during the Byzantine era of 1936.
Yeah.
It is positively a one-of-a-kind item. I would say that if you were to take this to auction, it would probably be worth around $20,000, $30,000. However, since you have chipped this piece here, its value is now at $250.
She's got this crazy music box up there too. That's like 3 feet long and like a foot wide, and it's like has this heavy lid, and It's like loud. It's like it almost has, it's like it feels when she plays it. It sounds like there's like this giant amplifier, and it's I don't know, like it's in its own box or something. It's just really kind of
Massive music.
it's impressive to hear. I was like the first time I heard it, I'm like, is that coming from that thing? Really? You know?
You know what? That's kind of like the equivalent of the boombox in their day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just imagine that lopped on somebody's shoulder as he's playing it, and he's like bobbing his head. It's like
It weighs like 40 pounds or 50 pounds. That's pretty heavy.
that had to be tough. That had to be tough.
Oh, got crooked backs.
Yeah, he has it in his carriage, and he just rides up past the lady. He's like, "Hey, play the music." Ding, 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 ding.
Well, that was a random talk at the end there.
So, I was curious. That episode that I missed, I had to work. Did anyone find the data crystal of mine that was on my my cryo chamber life pod?
I think if anybody would have found it, it would have been Theo, but it wasn't mentioned.
Okay.
The only thing I did is when we were making the bomb, I was just taking out random stuff in there, and I took out the seat and stuff, and I took out all the things that didn't look like they were essential towards it because it was kind of going in a scavenger mentality, so it didn't really pay attention to what he was taking out because we didn't have a lot of time. So
you took all the chairs and everything out?
Yeah, I took the chairs, all the stuff out, just kept it bare bones. So whatever is there might be there.
Oh yeah, because he lost it in the chair that he was in.
We could
Probably in a box somewhere.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Like maybe I don't know. What do you think would be more interesting? Do you want someone to find it, Tim, or do you want to find it yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just putting in little things if you want to use to reveal something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. We could say that. How about this? Maybe next time Theo will bump into it. Like, what's this piece of junk? I better plug this in somewhere and see what this is.
Or, I mean, the first time you do something really threatening in front of Bryce, and you don't have your mental shield up, you'll have a lot to reveal.
Oh, he probably won't do anything really threatening in front of you. In front of you is not what he does.
But is it Esteban or other Esteban that he will be thinking of?
Yeah, well, they'll both have the same memories.
But one might be distorted.
Yeah, true.
I wonder if
if one can keep secrets from the other.
One thing Esteban doesn't know is that Aisho now has free will to comment on anything that happens.
Yeah, I think the captain's going to get some recordings.
Yeah, he's been watching you go crazy. He might be like, is this normal behavior? No.
Do humans often put themselves in headlocks and bash their fellow humans' faces off the walls?
Captain, there seems to be some sort of engagement in the corridor.
Should I play some classical music?
Captain, Theo and Anel appear to be, I don't know how to describe it, but they are in the conference room, and the chairs are being knocked around.
I believe it's some sort of primordial mating ritual. I'm not sure about that.
This is the third time they were in the conference room.
They seem to be at each other's throats. Should I put suppression gas in here?
Should I vent them? Oh, boy.
Oh, Aisha with the correct responses.
I did have one question about... Well, I'm sure I have plenty of questions about Colt, but this specific question regarding the memories that Bryce siphoned off of him, I was wondering whether when he made the... what was supposed to suppress the Shi's ability to interfere with us, that injection, whether he was being sincere about his efforts.
Yeah, I guess you dug around in there. Yeah, he was being sincere. It would have worked, but you saw the effects.
Yeah, so it worked in theory.
Yeah. Theoretically, it wasn't going to have that many consequences.
Okay.
Yeah, my son is doing lots of talking today, huh, Wes? You want to say hi?
You say some hi? What are you gonna tell him?
Hi, Wes.
Cheerios.
You want some Cheerios?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
So
I want some Cheerios too.
Yeah.
He's looking at your faces on Skype and telling you he wants some Cheerios. And you got the monkey and the drawing of the swirly monster, and long beard with hair, and you have a red moon, which might be Mars. It's hard to tell.
This cow.
I don't even remember what my picture is.
Oh, it's the orangutan. It
Yeah,
makes me laugh every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks
'Cause
so horrified. It
Yeah.
seems almost fitting.
Yeah.
I keep glancing at it when you keep doing things. It's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh god, that's the face. That's
The
the face.
lights are in my eyes.
It looks like it too.
Oh,
I might have to put Will Ferrell back up again.
all right, guys, I gotta get around and make some dinner and stuff.
Thanks
Okay.
for the game, guys.
All
See you
right.
next-
Yeah.
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 Oh, and while I got you all here, next week I think I just want to look at the schedule real quick. Yeah, next week I will not be able to play, but it looks like the rest of my Saturdays for September and October are open currently.
Okay.
So
All right.
my lame social life will become, I don't know, more lame in September and October. So I'll be here to play games with you for those 2 months at least.
Yes, my contract ended, so I'm unemployed for a couple months, so that my schedule's free.
That's bad/good, I guess.
No, it's
the-
good.
Well, we'll get to hang out with you then, at least. That's good. All right, guys. I will talk to you in a couple weeks then.
All right, talk to you later.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Good playing with you.